Hello. The new technologies and new materials that emerged from the Industrial Revolution had a significant impact on the buildings of the 19th century. Construction work began on the world's first cast iron bridge over the River Severn at Coalbrookdale in 1779. It opened in 1781, replacing a slow and unpredictable ferry. Coalbrookdale, an iron bridge, the birthplace of heavy industry, became tourist attractions. The first painting of the scene was by the official project artist for the iron bridge, William Williams, in 1780. It was based on engineers' drawings, and essentially it was a PR exercise, presenting an idealised view, complete with pleasure boats. Philip de Loutherbourg captured a rather different scene in 1801. These are the Bedlam furnaces at Coalbrookdale. The flames of the iron furnaces, which burn for 24 hours a day, are the focus of the painting. The human figures are insignificant. The furnaces are the subject. J.M.W. Turner also chose a nighttime scene to capture the effect of a furnace in action in his 1797 painting of a lime kiln at Coalbrookdale. After the pioneering iron bridge, cast iron was soon being used as a framework for buildings, including dock warehouses and textile mills, improving fire prevention and enabling taller buildings. Joseph Paxton created Crystal Palace for the Great Exhibition in 1851. The design was based on his earlier work with greenhouses, including the Great Conservatory at Chatsworth House for the Duke of Devonshire. This was demolished in 1941. Crystal Palace was on a much more monumental scale. At the time, it was the largest building in the world, made possible by the use of cast iron and plate glass. Fine quality sheet glass was available thanks to improved production techniques introduced by Robert Lucas Chance, among others, in 1834. Paxton used prefabricated standardised parts which enabled the structure to be dismantled and rebuilt after the exhibition at Sydenham in South London, where it stood until it was destroyed by fire in 1936. There was a dramatic increase in the proportion of glass in buildings after 1851. Oxford University Museum of Natural History, with its cast iron columns and an iron and glass roof, opened in the 1860s. And you can see evidence here of the revival of interest in Gothic architecture in the pointed arches. George Gilbert Scott was the main architect of St Pancras Station, but the roof of the engine shed was the work of W.H. Barlow, chief engineer of the Midland Railway. And here it is, under construction in the 1860s, more Gothic arches and spanning 243 feet, eliminating the distinction between walls and ceiling. Much use is made of cast iron and glass in recreational pavilions. Buxton Pavilion was built in 1871 to a design by Edward Milner, who had been Paxton's assistant at Chatsworth, and in market halls. Local to me are Derby, built in 1864, and Burton-on-Trent, built in 1883. Borough Market in Southwark has seen several changes, but some of the original iron and glass from the 1850s has survived. The arcades of London's Leadenhall Market were designed by Horace Jones in 1881. Scenes of work and industry inspired artists throughout our period. This is Leeds Market in 1913. It's by Harold Gilman, a member of the Camden Town group of artists. This small watercolour from 1840 is one of a series by George Childs of Dowley's Ironworks near Merthyr Tydfil. At its peak, Dowley employed 8,000 people. Sometimes scenes were romanticised. This picturesque view of Manchester from Kersall Moor in 1852 by William Wilde, it's in the Royal Collection, shows the smoking factory chimneys in the background. but the foreground is dominated by green countryside, a couple of rustics and sheep. The Great Exhibition of 1851 represented something of a high point of industrial production in England. The products on show made by ingenious technical machinery. But there was at the same time a backlash against the machine age, a view that a person minding a machine couldn't produce anything beautiful. A rose-tinted perception of traditional craftsmanship emerged, that the satisfaction of producing a piece of work by hand from start to finish was superior to the dehumanising effect of being just one cog in the wheel of a mechanised production line. This view inspired the arts and crafts movement, and that will be my subject next time. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.